So, Wobbles, it's been a little bit since we've recorded an episode. We've been doing pretty good.
Yep.
Up to this point of sticking to our first every month.
Right. Yep.
Although, like, we never explicitly said that was a thing.
Yeah. No, we haven't. There's no legal documentation.
We were never like, this is what our schedule is. But we just kind of had one.
Yeah. I guess it was just a kind of like personal deadline for both of us.
Yeah. And I think that's certainly helped with keeping this going.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
I think it's okay to change it up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we were both busy last month.
Yep.
I was probably more busy because moving and stuff.
Right. I was just like went away for like a week with family and then went again the next week. So.
Yeah. But, you know, the show goes on.
Yeah, the show must go on.
Here we are.
We've had to re-record an MBBC as well, but we've soldiered on.
Yeah.
I think I'll get to that later. I think.
Yeah, we will. Let's.
But speaking of things that have hang on, I'm just being assaulted by bees. Okay, we're fine. Let's get the show on the road.
Okay, I guess we should do some quick follow-up.
Yeah, let's run through.
/ correction section.
Oh yeah. Correction section / follow-up, right.
Okay, so last time I was talking about using Spotify for the first time and complaining that some of their selection was limited.
Right, yes.
Which it is. Like, there totally are songs and albums and artists and stuff that I have on my iTunes that cannot be found on Spotify.
Right.
But my example that I used last episode was the band Aha.
Right, yep.
Saying that they only had like a few
small indie band
songs by them. I wouldn't say it indie band, but
small indie band, not many people know of it.
But yeah, okay. So in checking more recently, I've seen that Spotify has multiple complete albums.
Right.
And I'm not 100% sure because I swear I checked it because I was looking for a specific song and they didn't have it.
Right.
But now they do, and I don't know. Just putting that out there. It's possible they added a bunch of between recording our last episode.
Maybe Spotify is listening to us.
I don't know that there's any records of what they have added when.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm also willing to admit that maybe because it was my first time using Spotify, I just misunderstood the search or something.
Yeah, or something like that.
But there definitely are some songs that are not on there.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
But that was maybe not the best example.
Yeah.
So for all of the people which checked and told me that you in fact could find Aha on Spotify. Other than just Take On Me.
Yeah.
You know, all of those zeros of people.
Yeah. I'll just go check through feedback, see if we but yeah.
No. It was just my own personal
yourself,
feedback.
Your inner voice.
It's like someone in the future is going to listen to this and judge me. Think I was wrong, so I have to get on record.
Right. I was going to get on your case. Well, actually, at that point, if they'll have, in the future, if someone's going to get on your case, I'll probably wonder at that point if all of our would have been added.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the further off that feedback is, the stronger my case is for clearly they added it sometime between when that episode was recorded.
So yeah, if you're a first time listener, don't stick around. Scar wants to keep his arguments valid. Yeah.
Wait, don't stick around.
Please do, and also go to our Patreon. But yeah. I guess speaking of things we have said in the past, and then I guess just slightly changing on them, we, as of recording, it was about, 2 months ago, I watched Good Omens.
Yeah, it feels like we haven't recorded in forever, so
Yeah,
some of
I
our
wonder-
notes are, feel dated now, but
Yeah, a couple of these things still stand up, but yeah.
yeah.
Well, we watched Good Omens, we have a group of friends on a service called Rabbit, which is quite good.
That no longer exists.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll probably get to, I think there's Watch Along, which is just it's a more of a screen sharing application.
yeah. I don't know. There's a few things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting that between recording the last episode and recording this one, the website Rabbit no longer exists.
Yeah. So that happened. But yeah, no, Good Omens is very good. Very yes.
Yes.
And I do think it should be removed from Netflix. It was very naughty.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was yeah. I guess also on the topic of things we've said on the past, if some of you more attentive listeners remember back in episode 3, when Scar was wondering if you could buy something that weighed a pound for exactly a pound, and
Oh yeah.
well, I got curious because I was bored one night, and I actually did some research into this, and it turns out that £1 sterling, the term comes from our old money when we used to use silver coins, and £1 of silver coins was worth £1, and yeah, a pound of silver coins, and I think it's 240 silver coins is equal to £1, but we get sterling because I think, yes, silver and sterling, yeah, they're synonyms. So sterling was a yieldy word for silver. So when someone says pound sterling, they mean a pound of silver, which is yeah, which I thought was quite cool to look into. I didn't really know that much about
But it's since removed from that, so
yeah, now it's just
you can't get a pound of silver for
no,
a pound.
you can't get 240 silver coins
Yeah.
for £1. If you had silver coins, they're probably worth thousands now because they're very old and rare.
Mhm.
But yeah,
That's pretty interesting.
I guess it's a bit like how if you have a jar of loose change, and it's this massive jar filled up, it's probably only about £3. But imagine that, you have a massive jar of silver coins, and it's only worth 80p or something yeah, just because of
Right.
the numbers they were dealing with.
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was just interesting follow-up item.
So did you have a quiz for me?
Yeah. I have a quiz. Since I thought, it's the end of season 1, I thought I'd take us back to our roots and quiz you on stuff about my country that you probably don't have that much knowledge of.
Oh,
So I'm doing the counties of England.
this is a real quiz.
So I'm doing the counties of England, but I'm also doing, alongside that, their capital cities. So I thought I'm going to be a lot nicer than you are in the American one. And I'm just going to give you the county and its capital, and you just have to tell me if it's true or false.
Okay.
Just, yeah. Because sometimes the city might, yeah, I don't know. Because
Yeah, this feels like a more fair way of doing, kind of similar to your first quiz, where it's just, I got a 50-50 shot.
yeah, I feel like you probably will do, because I think you've at least heard of 2 of these, so, yeah.
But now the pressure's on for me to get more than 50% of them right.
Right, of course. Beat the odds. Well, no, I guess, right.
Just
fall in
Prove
line
that
with
I'm
the
smarter
odds.
than a random guess.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, should we kick this into second gear?
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right. Number 1, the county of Tromfordshire, with the capital city of Tromford.
True.
That one is false.
Oh.
Yeah,
I feel like I had no reason to disbelieve that. Tromfordshire?
Tromfordshire.
Tromford?
Tromfordshire. Yeah, that's a tricky dicky. I apologize.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2. So this is
Wait, is that a city in that county though? Even though it's not the capital?
Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Well, Chelmsford is it's the fake capital city. So I'm giving you the county, and it's the county capital.
Right, but I'm saying, is that a city in that county?
What? Chelmsford? Yeah. I don't think.
So it is a city. It's just not the capital.
Oh no! It's not a city. It doesn't. Both of those don't exist.
Oh, neither of those exist?
No, neither of those exist.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. But I mean,
I thought you were giving me a real county, but.
Oh right. Yeah. That would be.
But making up some city or something.
Right. No.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Wise to your tricks, Wallace.
So this is the county of Quandary, with the capital of Boroughmore.
Not real.
Okay. Yep. That's correct.
Quandary.
Quandary.
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
All right. 1 for 1.
All right. Yeah. This next one is the county of Lincolnshire, with the capital of York.
Yeah.
All right. That one's not right, because York isn't the capital of Lincolnshire. Both of those exist in this case. But
they're nowhere near each other.
Well, actually, they're all just... Yorkshire is just the county to the north.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah.
Okay. York is the capital of a completely different county, and Lincolnshire is a completely different thing. Right.
Yeah, Yorkshire... Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I thought maybe it was like a trick question.
Right.
Like,
So, yeah. Currently 2 for 1. Right. Next one. This is the county of Greater London and the capital city of London.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I thought
that one.
Right.
There's no tricks there.
Yeah, 2 for 2. Yeah, that one's not. There's nothing to read into that.
Don't
need to
overthink it.
This is the county of Greater Manchester, with the capital city of Manchester.
Greater Manchester. You know, I realized maybe we should be like pausing.
No, right. Yeah.
To let other people guess.
Yeah. Again, unless you're like from the UK, then these are blatantly obvious.
You know what? Like, they got to be quick. Got to be quick on that pause button.
Yeah.
Before I throw the right answers at you.
All wrong.
What was this one again?
The county of Greater Manchester, with the capital city of Manchester.
I feel like Greater Manchester's not a thing, and you're making like an analogy with like Greater London, but it's not. It's like, no, I'm gonna say that's fake.
Nope. Greater Manchester is a real thing, and so is Manchester. Both of them. Yeah.
Well, I knew Manchester was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe it was like in some other county, and that it wasn't. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. This number 6, Wiltshire. The county of Wiltshire and its capital Trowbridge.
Wait, what am I at right now?
I think we're 3. Just do a quick thing here. I think I'm at it's 3 for 2. I think. So,
okay.
Yeah, you're doing.
I have 2 right.
Yeah, 2 right. So yeah, you're.
So I need to get this one right.
Yeah. So this is the county of Wiltshire, with the capital of Trowbridge.
Trowbridge. That sounds medieval. I'm gonna say that one's fake, because we haven't had a fake one in a while.
Nope, that one is true.
God, I wanted to say it was true, but I was like, would he give me like 4 true ones in a row? Oh. Okay.
Number 7.
I'm losing at a coin toss.
Number 7. Worcestershire, with the capital of Worcester.
No, that one's fake.
That one is real. And okay, I just want to do a small thing, just in the
I've heard the county.
Can
Worcestershire.
Yeah,
but
try.
I didn't think this capital would be that dumb.
Could you try? Could you try spell Worcester or Worcestershire for me?
I couldn't even say it for you. It's like that sauce. There's a sauce that comes from there.
Yeah, there is a Worcestershire sauce.
Let me see if I can type it. Worcestershire. It's like something like that.
It's.
Oh, that's right. Because then people try and read it and they pronounce it Worcestershire.
Or Worcester.
Worcestershire.
And yeah, it's Worcestershire. Worcestershire. That is a tricky one. Alright, so number 8 is the county of Bedfordshire with the capital city of Luton.
No, if I've learned anything, its capital is Bedford.
You did it. You got it right. It is fake.
Do I get bonus points?
Yeah.
For knowing the capital?
Yep. I think I've also talked to you about this county before, and the city of Bedford.
Maybe.
I think at some point. But actually, bonus fact: Luton is a old English name or Anglo-Saxon name meaning town on the Lee, which is a river that flows through it. The River Lee.
I see.
It's Luton's a bit of a hole, but rest of Bedfordshire's alright. Heck hole. Frick. Yeah. Number 9. This is the sure, I'll do this in a different order. So this one's capital is Bristol, and its county is Bristol.
Ooh, you're changing it up on me, giving me the capital first. It's really making me think about this differently. Bristol. It would be kind of funny if you gave me like a city and a county in like New Zealand or something.
I probably. Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't notice. I would just feel like.
Well, unless it was like Wellington in or something.
No, I mean that sounds British enough,
I feel like most people. Yeah, I guess fair enough.
But isn't that like the capital of New Zealand? Sorry.
Yeah, Wellington. Yeah, that's what I
see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
But still, like Bristol. Okay. Yeah, I'll say that's right.
Yeah, that is correct. It's really weird, but the county which Bristol presides in is Bristol. Yeah.
Was that my third one?
4th, you got Bedford, right? So you.
Oh, right, Bedford.
You got
okay.
You got Quandary, Greater London, Bedford, Bristol.
So I have 4 out of 9.
4 out of 9.
And 1 meaningless bonus point.
So it's all down. It's all down to this last one. Number 10. The county is Cumbria, and the capital is Ipswich.
Ipswich. Well, I refuse to believe there's an Ipswich here. So these could also both be cities, and neither of them be real counties. Like I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I feel like if I was to do this again, I would completely mess it up. Like have like fake town names from TV shows, but
now I'm wishing I had done this with the U.S. and tried to like convince you that Chicago was a state or something.
Yeah, no.
Just see what I could get away with.
Right, of course. Depends how able-minded how I was in that window of time.
Yeah, I will say I think you probably know American geography much better than I do.
Yeah, you know, right? Yeah, of course.
But I mean, and you could argue that like America's a lot bigger, and so it's actually more impressive that you know it. But you just know like the big cities.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like if I quizzed you on North Carolina geography,
right,
it would be kind of equivalent.
I mean,
like
I know
the counties in North Carolina. Like you don't know that.
I mean, I would just guess like English like town names. They'd probably
I don't
right.
even know that. Yeah.
So you're saying it's true?
Yeah.
Okay. That is correct. Cumbria and Ipswich are real things, and they are. Yeah.
Well,
you got 5 out of 10.
I've proved that I can.
You can do.
I can match a coin toss.
The expected level for a 50-50 guess. I feel like they were most of them were 50-50. Like the ones you got right were educated guesses, I guess. Like you weighed up your options first.
Can I, for my own feelings here, can I actually flip a coin 10 times?
Sure.
And see how many the coin gets right?
Right. Okay.
This is our first versus quiz. I've taken the quiz. Now we're going to get a coin that was in the other room not listening, and we're going to ask the coin all the same questions and see who scores better.
Alright, expect a radio noise.
Alright, I'm back. I've got a coin.
Okay, which I guess president is on the coin?
Lincoln.
Okay.
It is an American penny.
Abraham Lincoln. I want you to answer me these questions 10. All right.
He says he's ready.
Okay.
Heads is going to be true. Tails is going to be false.
Okay.
Keep this clean.
Mr. Former President, sir. Number 1, Tromfordshire. The county of Tromfordshire, with the capital city of Tromford.
True.
All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Former President, sir. That is incorrect.
Yeah, I made the same mistake.
You know what? It's fine. You still got 9 more to go. Right.
9 more. It's all uphill from here.
Number 2. This is the county of Quandary, with the capital of Boroughmore.
Quite the quandary. Let's see what he says. False.
All right. He got that one right. Okay.
Me and Lincoln thinking alike here.
All right.
So far.
This is the county of Lincolnshire, funnily enough, and this has the capital city of York.
How much do you know about Lincolnshire, Lincoln? He says that's true.
Bad luck again, Mr. Former President. That is incorrect. Number 4. Now, no offense, but this should just be easy pickings. Low-hanging fruit. So this is the county of Greater London, with the capital city of London.
True.
All right. Yeah, he's on a roll so far. All right.
He's on a roll of picking the exact same answers I picked.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5. The county is Greater Manchester, with the city of Manchester.
True.
All right. Yeah, that's the only other guess you got that Scar didn't get. So yeah, golf cup, Mr. Former President, sir. All right. Maybe this is it's looking up for him. Number 6. This is the county of Wiltshire, and this has the capital of Trowbridge.
False.
All right. Nope, that's incorrect. All right, moving on.
He was very confident in that.
Yeah, I know. I
attacked my keyboard.
Yeah, I heard that. He really really landed hard. Okay, number 7. This is the county of Worcestershire, with the capital city of Worcester.
All right, Lincoln, you know this one. Come on.
Just think of the source, buddy.
False.
Oh. Right, I'm sorry to say that is incorrect. All right. Number 8. This is the county of Bedford. This has the capital city of Luton.
False.
Oh, you got that one right, I think. Where is he now? So we got incorrect, correct, incorrect, correct. Did he get Greater Manchester? No, he got incorrect.
No, yeah, he did get Manchester.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. So we got correct. Wait, did he get yeah, no, he got Luton. So correct. I think he's 4 at the moment. But I suppose there'll be a counter or some form of tracking later on. So, alrighty. Number 9, Mr. Former President. It is the capital of Bristol, with the county of Bristol.
Alright.
What's it gonna be?
False.
I'm sorry to say that is incorrect. Alright.
You're a fool, Mr. President.
I think he just has to get this last one right, and we'll see if you've beat pure luck. Number 10. This is the the county of Cumbria with the capital of Ipswich.
False.
So, Scar, you did better than a coin toss. So, how do you feel?
I'm feeling better.
Yeah. You
felt
should
like
be proud.
Statistically, I did the same as a coin toss, but
Well, yeah, but
this coin.
you flicked it at different strengths, isn't that? So on.
No.
No.
I did good flips.
What?
I did not manipulate the coin toss. This
Right.
coin is just rubbish.
Oh, of course, yes.
It's because it's a shield penny. It's garbage. They're not even really made of copper anymore.
Right, of course, that's the issue. It's not the
I'll use a
inconsistency
proper
of
penny
humans.
next time.
Yeah. You'll make sure to go to the penny store.
Yeah.
Get a pound of 240 silver coins. All right. I think the study is conclusive. You are indeed smarter than a coin, Scar.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. This is Hindsight, Wobbles, and Scar.
Hello.
We've got a very important message to tell the youth of America today. And it was, surprisingly, Wobbles was wrong. Gasp. Yeah. So, I kind of, in this section, forgotten how to think, and Ipswich is, funnily enough, not the capital of Cumbria, it's Carlisle. That's nonetheless. So instead of Scar winning by the slimmest of margins against former President Abraham Lincoln, he actually did worse.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, just the last question, just flip the results there. Instead of me getting an even 50-50 score of 5 out of 10, I received 4 out of 10.
Yep.
And Abraham Lincoln in D2 form has received 5 out of 10. Just like you really think a coin ought to.
Yeah.
On a true-false test.
Yep. So, yeah.
So just take back everything I said about feeling better about myself and that I was able to beat an inanimate object at an intelligence contest.
I do want to also add in, I guess I kind of mentioned how you did just the expected level, but I think I mentioned that it's still a failure. So I feel like you don't need to mentally block out that part.
Yeah, you're just reaffirmed in that this is more solid of a failure.
Yeah. So, yeah. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah. Let's get back to that.
Yeah. Okay. Radio noise. Well, yeah. I feel like with this shocking revelation, I think we're ready to go on to the general talk. So, yeah. So I've picked music as one of my GCSE subjects, and we were composing a piece, and my piece was in... Well, my piece, it was in a minor key, but, like, there were parts of it that were meant to sound, like, chaotic and quite dissonant, and... Like, there's like 5 of us in this group, but it's not many people pick music. And we all went around listening, and we had to write comments. And one person wrote a comment, and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, good dynamics and stuff. But then they, as a complaint, they wrote too dissonant. And it was just like, hang on, hold up, that's not how that's meant to work. I mean, I don't know, I just felt like it was weird because your main critique was on the basis in which the thing stood upon.
Yeah, the whole point of the exercise.
Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't like our exercise was just to mess around with the music thing, and I was just experimenting with how I could make an interesting melody.
The point of your piece. Okay, so maybe they just didn't get your...
Yeah, and I guess
that's
it was like the full piece
to
isn't
do.
completely just inaudible and this, like, it was just a part of it that was meant to sound clustered in chaotic. Like the rest is it isn't just like 4 hours of key smashing. But it was just like a part where a melody kind of just about didn't work with another part of another melody, and it was just that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything. Yeah, it wasn't like modern music, or I guess contemporary music, which is modern complexity is ridiculous and how that sounds, or yeah, but but I don't know, it would be like, say, looking at like a painting and going like, that's too abstract.
Yeah,
like it
which is a thing. I think it just proves that, like, as much as some people will try to like make music into like a set formula of notes and
right, yeah,
patterns.
Yeah,
I think there is an element of taste that's always going to be there.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
but yeah,
I think the painting is a good comparison.
Yeah,
it's like,
because it wasn't.
Yeah, you weren't trying to make like a realistic representation of something. You were doing like an abstract painting, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to do a Mona Lisa. I was trying to do a Starry Night.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but I just thought it was weird in a place where you're meant to put like technical critiques. Like this part felt like it could have used a bit more dynamics well, yeah.
If it wasn't something you were intending on doing, that would be a technical critique.
Right, yeah. Well, actually, because of the weird software we were using, my music teacher was like, "Oh, did you mean to put that note there? Because it doesn't sound like it. Just sounds confused." Like, "Oh no, it's just the software I was using was poopy."
In the same way that like you could look at Starry Night and be like, this shade of yellow isn't accurate to the sky.
Yeah.
Or like this shade of blue is not. Like, that is a technical critique, but from your perspective, it's like a taste.
Yeah, of course. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was just quite weird how that was like the one thing they picked out of the piece as a critique, and I just thought that was. I just thought it was quite odd.
Yeah, I think that's why you can't always take every critique you get as like completely seriously.
Yeah, of course.
It really depends on if
there's always some form of like tinge of subjectivity behind it.
Yeah, and it's like, do they understand what it was supposed to be, or like, cause yeah,
but yeah, I thought that was just a weird thing that happened. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't think I've really had anything like that before. Yeah, no, it was just a bit strange. But I get the person who did critique it is quite a bit of like a fundamentalist when it comes to things like music, and like they also won't consider like chess or video games a sport because there's no doing involved, which I think is utter hogwash, to put it PG-ly.
It just depends on your definitions for things.
Yeah, exactly. So like they'll take a concept at its most fundamental form, but I don't know, it just I guess I mean, it's fair enough, but yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But there's also those people who don't like classify some things as art, which I feel like is, I think we talked about this, like how arbitrary grading an art test is, and how weird that like of a concept that is, but also like I don't know, I don't feel like I can look at something and say that's not art unless I know more about it. Like, you'll go to an art gallery and you'll just see like some kind of sculpture, like, oh, that's not, what is that? And then you'll read about it. It's like, oh, this took this artist like 15 years because it was a collage of photos of this specific object at the specific time and date. It's like, oh, okay, right, I see. And there's always that aspect where if something looks like just like a circle, like when you see stuff like simplistic art, it's normally a lots of tiny things in a large collage, so it's more like a so say it was just like a dot on a canvas, there's normally more context either surrounding like, I guess the message and the meaning behind the painting, but also like physically around the painting.
Yeah.
Depending on how it's displayed.
But there's also like the concept that like everything is art.
Yeah.
To some degree, like I mean, obviously like video games could be considered art.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of
like games like
design
Flower
that goes into them.
Yeah, but also like I guess games that are literally like meant to be art, like a game called Flower, where that's just got an amazing art. Like it's got.
That's the tricky part, is like they could all be considered art, but some are more artsy.
Yeah, some are more artsy.
It's just strange.
Like right, yeah, it's tricky.
But then you also look at things like laptops and phones and like other things. It's like there is a design element to all of these things. Like someone has to create the appearance of it.
Yeah, like cars,
deliberately or not deliberately.
I guess architecture is like the purest form of like, I guess, like something you wouldn't really think about, but it is like someone spent like months in a drawing room, like getting planned, doing like design choices that look nice, but also it also has like that, like doing like actual physics, like if we put this here, will everything else fall down? But that's
So, and when you're talking about that, it's kind of hard to think of an example of something that wouldn't be considered art,
right? But it's tricky. But it is weird when people take an art form and then I forgot the name of the musician, but he did this thing where he started off playing a piece that he quite liked and was like, oh yeah, that's a beautiful piece, but then he got bored of it, so he made like a jazzy remix, I guess, of it, and then he got bored of that, and then he went further and further, and eventually he got this massive piece like of paper, and he drew kind of like all these like mini abstract paintings, like doodles on them. But what would happen is that they hung it up in, I think, the Washington Museum of Arts. I think that's what it's called. I think it was in Washington DC. I forget. But what would happen is like, I think like every like noon, a musician would come over and then interpret like this like weird like abstract sheet music into their own music.
Right.
Which was quite like fascinating. But also like what he did as well was like he made his own. He got to a point where he just made his own instruments using like old scraps around the house. And that was quite, I guess, or you also have people as well, like Beardy Man, who is this guy who essentially just spent like years training his voice to do different things. So now he can make dubstep music without even needing any like instruments. He could just use his voice and like this multi-layered recording like device. And it's like hearing the stuff he does is ridiculous because it's like, that's his voice.
Yeah, I've seen some of that like, stuff before. I didn't realize that was how he was making it. Yeah,
there'll be there's a couple good videos of some of like the best cases of Beardy Man's thing in the show notes. But yeah, he's a very good example of, like, I guess I think the way he put it, he was like, oh, it's the best way of doing music because I can literally just get an idea from my head and then it just comes from my mouth, and that and then he records it and mixes it, and then it's
that is kind of great,
that final thing, and it's like, oh yeah, that is like, I guess, the rawest expression of the human of just being able to think of something and then do it with nothing else required.
I guess like a product that would be something that you could buy that would not necessarily be considered art, I guess, would be any sort of raw material.
Oh, right. Well, depending on what you believe, but yeah.
But just about any other product, like I feel like there's at least some element of like design that had to go into creating it,
right?
And therefore, like in a broad definition of art, you'd have to include it.
I guess it's interesting, I guess, because like if you go from like a religious standpoint, everything is art. Like especially like if you believe in like a creator.
would a religious standpoint use the word art specifically, though? That seems like...
I don't know. Maybe not, like, because I know people, like, admire it, and then...
That's true.
But, I don't know.
Yeah, and then, because then you get to, Yeah.
But, yeah, anyhow, that aside, but, art's a weird, very human thing. Recently, I was looking for a children's, I was looking for a show I used to watch quite a bit when I was but a wee lad.
Yeah, I remember.
We spent, like, an hour and a half looking for it, because I was, like, thinking about it, and then you just started listing through things that involved concepts, like, ideas from it.
Yeah. You were describing this show to me.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get as much information on it as I could so I could help you search for it.
Right, yeah.
You didn't remember too much.
You eventually found... Yeah, because I remembered a lot. But I can...
For a while, we were just going through...
shows that involve time travel.
Yeah, the entire list of shows that involve time travel. I was reading them off to you one by one, seeing if they sounded familiar.
Yeah. And then I told you about, like, how the time travel happened, and we were able to find it via red button trope, which is, which is a big part of the show, But, the show is, hounded, by, lead actor is Rufus Hound. But, there is no, like, there's not, like, it doesn't exist. Like, the only thing I could find was a DVD for sale on eBay. And that's it. There are, like, if you look, it's on, like, iPlayer. But if you click on it, it will say this is no longer available here.
Right.
So, like, what? I know the way iPlayer works, that they will filter through shows, like, after every so often. Like, it's like a system, like, they'll just wash out shows if they're, quite old. But I feel like they would have, like, some form of, like, substantial backlog. But I think, it's something like,
For the listeners, would you like to recount your memory of the show and, like, what the basic premise is?
So, okay, the basic premise is that, so I guess the show opens and you're following our lead character, Rufus Hound, on his way to work at his first day working as a producer or actor for a BBC show, a CBBC show, which is the kids' BBC. And basically, you follow him through, and what happens is, he talks to, like, the directors and stuff, and he's like, oh, I've met you before. So pretty much, he'll go onto the show, I forget what happens, but I think he goes into, like, a back room somewhere, and then he'll get teleported somewhere, random. An older version of himself comes, tells him what he needs to do to save the day, because the older him is done, the older him knows what's about to happen. And then he'll go try, kill, or, defeat the main villain. I think his name is, Dr. Mwahaha, and his female assistant, Steve. But what will happen is every time before he's just about to defeat the main villain, is that the main villain will restart time, and Rufus will wake up. And that's the show. But, like, there was one episode where they went inside of the Queen's body, and they, like, went into her brain, because, Dr. Mwahaha was trying to assassinate the Queen. But what happened is they found out they were actually in the Queen's corgi the entire time. And they had to try switch bodies. I think one episode he gets rickrolled, and I think that is, like, he asks this, like, machine to teleport him somewhere, and it says, teleportation feature not working, and then it plays music, and then it plays Rick Ashley. But I want to watch, like, I have such fond memories, and I remember loving the theme song, which is Goodbye Mr. A by the Hoosiers, I think. Which, I know, it's a banger. I think it's still bops, but, but I just want to watch it, because, I don't know, I found another show that I have a lot of nostalgia towards, and that is Ooglies, which is a show where they
Never heard of that either.
Ooglies is a sketch show where they put googly eyes on inanimate objects and they just like interact. There's like reoccurring characters, like there's a Brussels sprout, and the Brussels sprout tries to do all these things to make everyone love him, but at the end of each sketch, everyone will run away. Or there's one where
Sounds like a good child's TV show.
There's like just an object sitting on a kitchen counter, and then you'll see like the back of a pizza cutter, and there's it rolls off screen, and like, huh? What? There's like a shark movie, and then they get chopped in half by the pizza cutter. Or there's one where, there's the Meatball Olympics, and 2 of the meatballs will do something amazing, and then the last one will mess it up horribly and die a horrific death. The list goes on. There's a lot of sketches I remember involving food and or inanimate objects. But it was
that Hounded show though. That does sound like the premise does sound a little bit interesting. Obviously it sounds like a goofy kids show.
Right. My favorite reoccurring joke is that in that entire show is that actually it had some it had a section an episode where they're on like a kitchen table and they're being chased by a giant piece of broccoli. But one of my favorite reoccurring jokes in the show is that right as he's about to cross the road to go into the BBC headquarters, a bird will poo on his shoulder, and he just kind of looks over and just like, not again. But everything
that happens every day.
Yeah, everything every day is timed perfectly, so he has to stand in that spot. Or every day he almost trips over a he always bangs his head because there's these people bringing out a big pane of glass.
Right.
But what's funny is he's walking down the road, and there's this one point there's a billboard, and it tells you what the premise of what the villain is doing that episode, and then the credits Hounded will come down, as he's going. Yeah, but I don't know.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
The Groundhog Day.
But there's I guess a less
TV
abstract goal.
Yeah.
It's save the world instead of not be a dick. So yeah, but that was an interesting search for nostalgia. But I did have to be talked out of buying the DVD off eBay. That was a struggle.
So it says here, Instagram, spring (summer) cleaning.
So,
are you cleaning out your Instagram? Do you have an Instagram?
Yes, I do, but it's privated because I follow friends and family, and stuff like that.
I don't even have one, so
fair enough.
Don't worry about that.
But I've talked to some people and they've been able to find it. I was like, you just ignore that. Don't worry about it. But I realized I was very unhappy with what my Instagram feed was looking like. So I just spent a good half hour on following and following lots of different accounts that I actually want to see stuff from. And I've got to it's the only reason I kind of want to get back into Instagram, because I know because most of the YouTubers I watch, if they have an Instagram, they also have a Twitter. So I was like, well, I may as well just follow them on Twitter, even though Twitter's just because I can also see their tweets and then also see their photos, instead of it being in this weird format on Instagram. But there is a YouTuber I watch who has a filming channel, and they'll do photography and stuff. So I want to follow their account on Instagram because they don't have a Twitter account for their photography. So I just I just go on their Instagram account. But I thought I'm already on here, so I may as well try get the most out of it. And I've gone through and realized, I haven't talked to this person in 2 years, I guess. So I'm just gonna pretend they don't exist.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a good thing to do, regardless what social media platform you're on.
Yeah.
I think every so often it's nice to just go through and look at your like complete list of like who you're following,
Yeah,
or whatever, and just unfollow
lots and lots of people.
Stuff you're not like interested in anymore, and maybe follow some new stuff, like just to refresh it, make sure like it still makes sense for stuff that you like, and not just because you've had the account forever and you've always followed this.
Right.
It's one thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got a lot better experience with the app now.
Yeah, it always feels nicer too, just to have it.
Yeah,
like,
just have a clean feed, and yeah. And there's also like a couple of accounts I followed for like a giveaway ages ago, so I'm not gonna do that now because that giveaway ended.
Like, that's
a while ago.
A good example of like.
Yeah, it was just a PC case company, because I don't know, I wanted a hot new rig, but I didn't win. That's fine.
Yeah. If the giveaway's over and you're not interested in the content anymore,
yeah.
It's like,
I mean, I am slightly worried for the day that most of my IRL friends get Twitter accounts. Mainly, my feed wouldn't be as clogged because, like sometimes I'll open my Twitter feed, it will refresh and I'll be at the top, and then it will do like a double refresh, and then there'll be another wall of tweets I have to look through in like the span of 2 minutes. So if I want to actually see any of my friends' tweets, I have to do, I think, what I've done for a couple of Twitter accounts, where you have to make them a priority. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it would be better on Twitter, where it's incredibly easy to, I guess, blur out people you're just following because, you kind of know them. But yeah, it's probably gonna be a while because everyone thinks that Snapstagram is the best. So I think I'll be fine. Reddit, oh no. That would be bad as well. So, as of recording, it is approaching Wabbles Day, the day where we all celebrate Wabbles.
Wabbles Day, yes.
So,
my family has many Wabbles Day traditions.
Of course. Like,
countless.
Put the tail on the upside down doggo.
Right.
Whack the upside down piñata, like it's on a pole hanging from the ground.
Yeah. Not hanging, but
yeah, it's upside down piñata. So. What else? Eating pretzels? I don't know. What do I do? But yeah. Anyhow.
Those are the three things. Those are the
three things.
The holy trifecta of Wabbles Day. You eat pretzels. You pin the tail on the upside down doggo, and you
play upside down.
You whack the
upside down piñata.
The upside down piñata.
I guess it's a doggo piñata. It's a woof yada. Or wap yada?
Comes on a stick.
Yeah, comes on a stick. And you have to actually whack it upside down, like they hang you from the ceiling.
It's also full of pretzels.
So yeah, that's also full of pretzels and incredibly sour sweets.
It's really an art form of whacking it hard enough to break the piñata, but not too hard to crush all the pretzels.
Yeah, but yeah, also there's going to be loads of like ridiculous, like those intensely ridiculous sour sweets, like warheads and toxic wastes. Had some kind of unholy baby. God, that'd be amazing. I love sour sweets, but anyhow, yes, so, it's my birthday coming up, or passing, as you are listening to this, unless you're listening to this in a year.
Yes, it was August 25th, correct?
Yes, August 25th.
So yes, as the listener hears this, they will have been, if you're listening on the day this goes out, exactly 1 week ago was Wabbles Day, so you're late.
Shanking my hands.
I don't know what you're gonna do with that upside down piñata now.
Yeah.
Because it's like you didn't break it. You had one laying around. Clearly, everyone has one.
Yeah, of course. Like who doesn't?
But you didn't break it on Wabbles Day, then.
I mean, you're not gonna waste all those 15 bags of both the mini pretzels, but also the massive German ones.
Yeah.
You had.
You're gonna be like that person on Halloween that one time when I was a kid, and they were just giving out Christmas tree pretzels.
Man, actually, I had I had I think it was like toffee and cinnamon pretzels one time. Oh, that was really good. Or was it?
Those sound like some luxury Wobbles Day pretzels.
Yeah, yeah. They were shaped like Christmas trees, but Wobbles Day. Yeah, if you want to get something, get some like flips or whatever, however you say that. The chocolate covered pretzels. That's if you want like Wobbles to visit you in your sleep and give you 3 wishes and grant you 3 wishes.
Oh, these fools listening now, they're too late.
Yeah.
It was a week ago.
Yeah.
But, you'll catch next year's Wobbles Day.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully you will. Otherwise you'll pay. But yeah, I just thought, we haven't really talked birthdays before, but that's another, I guess, playing back to this weird theme of our episode. I guess it's another quite arbitrary thing in human existence. But it's like, at the same time, it's the most human thing. Like, celebrating a period of time in which the Earth passed the sun at this point. But I mean, as well as like, I think it's pretty cool because, you're celebrating someone's life. Well, not as in like the funeral way, but as in, you're celebrating someone's life. It's just the day to go up to someone who happened to be existing, had just started existing N times years ago. Like, hey, you're pretty cool. Here, have this thing that I spent cash money on. And then you do birthday beats, which is always fun. But no, did you do that at your school?
Do what?
Birthday beats. You punish someone for
that?
how many years old they are.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I think that was.
I mean, it's gone to a point where it's actually been banned in our school. So, you know.
I think like conceptually that was a thing, but I don't know that it had the the branding of being referred to by birthday beats. Sounds like it's really
it's really good
been
alliteration.
taken up a few notches.
Yeah. But yeah, it was luckily my birthday isn't during school, so I don't get that. I mean, it's a shame, I know, but yeah, I don't get that treatment. But there's loads of like mini traditions that like I guess people generally do on birthdays, like setting a cake on fire with pieces of long wax, or giving people gifts with wrapped in paper, or writing on paper, then wrapping that in paper, and then putting sticky paper on that paper. But birthdays are pretty cool.
What did you say? What was that first one? Setting a cake on fire with
long piece of wax?
That threw me for a second. I had to translate.
Right. I mean, if aliens came down and saw someone's, but they probably thought it would be some kind of cultist ritual, and that the person was like some kind of god being.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It does. Yeah. It does make me think of when my nephew was very little and people were like singing happy birthday, and it was like suddenly there was fire and people were chanting, and he was like not liking it as like a 2-year-old who's never experienced this before.
Oh, really? Man, I
like, why are people saying words at the same time? This is something I've never encountered.
Yeah, no, I like birthdays. They're pretty epic, even if they're not.
Oh
mine.
yeah, I think when you're like a little kid, you like
a little brat,
you figure it out. But when you're like literally like a baby, and it's like, I
mean,
the first time you're like 1 or 2.
Don't remember my first time. I feel like, yeah, that feels like how people would be. If I was that age, they wouldn't be like shouting, like they would just be doing like the quiet happy birthday. But I don't know, that might just be.
Yeah, but it's still the fact that it's like you're used to hearing.
Yeah, I guess so.
People like talk at different. I don't know. It just.
It
dawned on me how strange of a ritual that is.
Right.
When I was like seeing my nephew like freak out because he was just like, stop singing in unison. Like, what is this? Please.
What is this? Witchcraft.
Yeah. Like,
right.
no one's taught me what any of this is, and I don't like it.
Right.
Now I'm trying to think, if you were Wobbles, if you were to explain to an alien
the concept of pain. Oh no, what? That was a different thought experiment.
No,
but
no. If you were to explain to an alien what a birthday cake is.
So for a while, humans have been pretty good at throwing like these things that we have these like fluffy things that have bony appendages. We call those chickens, and they produce round balls, or like it's ovular shapes that have this thing called a yolk. I don't need to get into what a yolk is exactly, but they're a thing that we can consume, not raw. Very bad if raw. But if we cook them just right, they are amazing. But then we also have got these plants, and basically, over thousands of years, we have made them as disformed and dysfunctional as possible, so they are as tasty to us. And then we have these things called cows. They have these little these things called udders. It's what their young, their offspring use to consume milk, pretty much. Milk is like this fluid liquid that has all the nutrients a younger organism needs to survive.
So you're taking one item out of an animal and then taking a different type of item out of a different type of animal.
Right. And then we're
you're
getting
also taking
plant.
Plants which you've grown specifically for... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm following. Okay.
And then,
go on.
So we put this, it's called wheat, is the plant. We grind it down into like a powder, and we call it flour. Not to be called... Right. And we mix those together, heat them at about 200 degrees Celsius, and that's what we call a cake. Alright? Now...
With you.
So this is been I think also... Oh, I forgot also, we have this, depending on where you are in the world, we have this one plant which is this big, tall, shoot of just plant matter, which if you can chop it down and grind it and dehydrate it, you get this powder called sugar. And also there's this type of, underground plant we call the beet, and if you take that out and do the same process, you also get this, sugar, it's like edible sand. I feel like it's probably the best equivalent, and that is also thrown into the mix, and then we do the whole baking, but which is what is called superheating this mix at 200 degrees Celsius. So once we have this thing called a cake, right? And what we do is that we either put this thing called icing, which is actually involves dihydrogen monoxide and that sugar I mentioned earlier. We mix it and we get this thing called icing, and you put that on the cake. But birthday cakes are special because they're normally personalized to the person whose birthday it is.
Okay, what's a birthday?
So it's a So basically it's an event that is celebrated that marks when a human child, I guess a baby has come out of a human woman. And we celebrate that every time the Earth goes around the sun at that exact time. Yeah,
okay.
It's a weird concept, but we've been doing it for...
And then you light the cake on fire.
Yeah, so we light the cake
celebrate.
on fire with these, for a couple hundred years, we've been doing this thing where we will get... it was a really good light source back in the day because it was renewable, where we'll get a long wick of a wick is rolled up flammable material, and we'll put it in a wax mold. So then it's covered in wax, and we call that a candle. All right. And what we do is that we have these little like custom implants that we can put into the cake, and then put the candle on that implant. So just so you know, because wax isn't exactly like, it's not gonna kill you. It just doesn't really. We don't like it personally. I don't know about your alien species, but then we light it.
What is wax?
I don't actually know. It's this weird like It's this like
It's this waxy substance.
Yeah, it's this like material that is it's got quite like it's got a low melting point, but is fine at room temperature, which we define as 20 degrees Celsius, or I guess to use 292.2 Kelvin. Yeah, so we light that. So
That's right. Aliens use Kelvin.
yeah, well, sorry, well, yeah, Kelvin was one.
No. It's okay. I actually I was very impressed with your with the level of detail you put into the cake making.
Right. So yeah, we have this weird substance that stays quite solid, but then you can melt it and then mold it back into its original shape. And we put these on cakes for the number of how many times the Earth has gone round the sun. Well, in relation to this person's birth. And that's the birthday cake.
That is there's a lot to explain there. You gotta get into like cows and sugar.
I should explain what a chicken was.
Chickens.
A fluffy ball with bony appendages.
But then also like the concept of like years.
Right.
Significance. And then candles, and it's like, what's happening here? This is...
What is happening here?
So, been playing any games lately?
Yeah. So Epic Games Launcher does this thing where I think every month they'll make a game free. And this month it was a game called Fez, which is a 2D platformer. But the thing is that you can change the dimensions of the world. So everything is like I guess like every level is set like on like there's like so it's really hard to describe audibly. So let's say you would have a cube, and let's say you have like a sticky out like ridge that like you could theoretically walk along. So what would happen in the game is that you would run along it. The ridge goes all the way around. But because you're a 2D, you can't go all the way around it. But then when you press the A or D keys, you'll flip the dimensions. So if you press D, you'll then be on, the whole world will turn, and then you'll be on the other, well, you'll be able to look at the other side of the square. So what will happen is that, so what sometimes happens is that you'll be at like the end of one platform. So like, you'll say you're on like the back, or you're on one part of the square, and then if you just turn it, if you just go to the edge of that, and then you turn it twice, you'll be able to just go onto the other side, which is quite cool, because it's not just dimensional shifting, it's also perspective. So say you had two floating platforms that were, like you had three squares that were going up in a staircase, but say you flipped it so then it was going another way, you actually realized that one of the squares was actually like 100, like way too far out the way to jump up. But because you're looking at one perspective, it makes sense that it's just a staircase. Stuff like that. It's like it's a puzzle platform. It does, sometimes I'll do a platforming section of like, hang on, how did I do that?
Right.
And yeah, it gets a bit fricky. But yeah, no, it's been a blast playing so far, and
It was very interesting what little bit of it I got to watch you play. It's definitely a hard concept to explain, but
right.
You sort of get it when you're watching it. It's like 2D and 3D at the same time. Yeah, that's quite a good. It's kind of interesting because that's also like got me thinking about like how like theoretically there is probably a game where
not in this universe. Like, there's a fourth dimension, like, well, in theory. But it'd be interesting seeing a game that used, like, there'd be 3D, and you come up to a wall, and then you just press a button, and then you'd be able to see there was a path around the wall, but with no... Because that's what it would be like. Like, it wouldn't be... Yeah, it wouldn't be like... So, yeah, I think there's this game called... I forgot what the game's called, but it would be like... So the game is quite interesting, because it's similar to, like, the tutorial level. You're doing a side-scroller, and you come up to a wall, and when you press a button, and then the world flips, and then you're on, like, a... You're then looking at the world from, like, a side view, and you just go backwards... you've cut into the world, and then you can just go backwards, and then you're on the other side of the wall, and you go back into 2D, and then the game takes you into a 3D environment. You're up against the wall, and then you flick a button again, and then you'd just be able to see a way round with no logical explanation for why. It's just such a hard concept to get your mind around. Like, would 4-dimensional beings play 2D games? That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think of what
because we don't play 1D games.
Couldn't it just be like a 3D game, but where you can shift the entire world into, like, different...
Yeah, that's what...
versions?
Yeah, the game...
I mean, you could also argue, like,
that's what
time...
Oh, yeah.
Could be
well, I think when we talk about
you can move through.
I think when we talk about it, we say we are living in 3 dimensions and 1 time dimension. I think that's the proper way of putting it.
Sure.
Or something like that. But yeah, no. So yeah, in that, like, the game I was talking about, if you push a button, then yeah, you go into a world that looks, like, really different. But then, like, it's like the wall is a similar, like, what you can see of the wall is a similar architecture and stuff. There is actually this one game called the 4D Toy Box, and pretty much you have a cube, and if you drag it a certain way, it'll just disappear because there's no possible way of displaying a 4-dimensional cube. You just say, oh, well, screw you too, buddy. Like, I guess we do have ideas like the hypercube, which is, say, you make a cube, you can make a 3D shape with a 2D shape if you get, like, 3 squares, and then you fold the 2 squares in. And then there's the concept of you get 3 cubes, and then what would happen if you fold the 2 outer cubes in? And then you get hypercubes, and yeah. But it's just been interesting, just getting me to think about how I had, like, the Tetris effect for a small while, where most of, like, the steps I have to take to get to different places in my house, I have to turn some corners. So, say I got out the bathroom and I had to turn to go to my bedroom, I'd think... So
you're thinking, just rotate the wall.
Yeah, how would I flip the world in this certain way so I can get to my bedroom the easiest?
Yeah.
Or is there any shortcuts I can take by rotating the world in this way so I can get to my office really quickly? And I was kind of like, hang on, no, that's not how that works. Because I was like, oh yeah, once I've done this, I just need to... I was having a bath and I was just lying down. I was like, oh yeah, I just need to get to my bedroom, so I'll just... But yeah. It's one of those games that you get so infixed by the mechanics of it that can't... Yeah, it's hard, like, when you come away from it, your mind's still slightly buzzy.
Yeah, it looked very interesting, like...
Yeah, it's... But yeah, no, it's pretty fun. It does look like it's gonna take... it does look... Yeah, it looks like it's gonna take a while to complete, because it's... it's quite a big game, and each level is like its own subsection of levels that have their own subsection of sub-levels that divide equally into sub-levels. It
does seem like the sort of thing where it's like, once you have that kind of structure in place, there's, like, a lot of different kinds of puzzles you can do with it, like a lot of different platforming tricks. So yeah, that makes sense that there would be a lot of levels for a game like that.
Yeah, it's like it's just like a collectathon type game where you're just getting all these little cubes to make bigger cubes to open doors. Like, literally the story is that a massive cube is broken. Just find all the tiny cubes to make up medium-sized cubes to make up an even bigger cube.
Right, a game like that's not really worried about the story. It's more about the fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it gives you like a scrap of story, and that's it. But yeah, maybe if I restart it, it might be one for the Wabbles channel. But yeah, I've said that.
Speaking of restarting things,
Oh,
so the Mabubaka,
you might have noticed there was a slight
shortage,
yes,
a drought.
Yeah, you had turned the tap on for your MBVC content, and it just slowly dripped out 2 chapters, and it clogged up.
It's because the 3rd chapter that we were gonna have for last episode, some of the
audio files had gone for no for quite an obscure reason. Because I remember putting all the files in the one place where I get the files from, and I went to go edit it, and I just went to look, and I was like, oh, it's not there. That's not good.
And even though when this happened last time, we were like, okay, we're gonna make sure this never happens again by using Craig.
Say hello, Craig.
The bot. Yeah, the bot who's with us now, because we're not gonna make the same mistake 3 times. Craig, who recorded our live episode for us, also makes for a very nice backup recording.
He does, indeed.
So should we lose either of these files,
right,
we would still have at least Craig's recording of them.
Right, and those are saved online somewhere, wherever Craig puts them.
But we're just dumb.
Yeah.
And we did not do that.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah. So. But you learn from your mistakes. I think.
The second time.
The second time. Third time's the charm.
You don't learn from them the first time. You learn. Yeah. 3rd time's the charm. There we go.
There we go. But yeah. So expect the one and only amazing Craig being here for his outstanding performances. He is a welcome member to the show.
He's just listening. He's not going to be talking.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah. Well,
don't expect it.
No.
A 3rd voice.
I mean, yeah. For now.
Yeah. Well, be very impressed if we can teach the bot to talk to us and have a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I might actually get Meeseeks to do it at some point. No, that was just making me shout at someone. Making Meeseeks shout at someone.
Yeah. Speaking of Discord and Discord bots, this is the last call here. If any listener is interested in getting the all of the Minty Boy achievements, Minty Boys Discord achievements, achievements.
Yeah. If you want to get the one and only
OG Minter's badge,
if you just have to join within the next month. If not, you cannot complete all of the achievements. And I know, don't cry, it's fine. If you didn't get it, better luck next lifetime. But
yeah, this is, as we've mentioned before, this is just a special achievement for any listeners who join
before October 1st.
Yeah, which would be the 1 year anniversary of
Season 1, Episode 2. Sorry, Season 2, Episode 1.
Well, not the 1 year anniversary of Season 2, Episode 1.
No.
Also, that's the thing I wanted to talk about. Is we haven't really discussed on here.
Right. How we're gonna run this.
How that works.
Right.
Because there's there's nothing in podcasting that says you have to have seasons at all, you know? We could just keep going.
Yeah. But, I don't know, it feels like it'd be a good way to, like, I guess, vary up. And I guess mark out probably depends how long this would go on different parts of our lives.
Yeah.
It would be very easily categorized.
Yeah. So, we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we've...
Off air here.
Yeah.
And we've decided seasons are a thing that's gonna happen with Minty Boys.
Yeah.
So this is the last episode of season 1.
Yep.
Next episode will be the first episode of season 2.
Yeah, it'll be
so
it'll be a thing.
That'll be a thing.
That will be it'll be a grand old fun time. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to see what comes for the next season of Minty Boys. Maybe Blorp Book or Blorper will finally get greenlit. Maybe yeah, or no, yeah, maybe maybe I'll be able to discern the differences between Columbus and Jesus Christ, and maybe Scar will do better than 50-50 at any given test. But you know, no, I guess stay tuned. Chapter 24.
Arthur's on this craft that is...
Space car.
Yeah.
Air car.
It's like hovering, and it's described as being very fast, but with little sense of motion. Like it's got maybe like inertial dampeners or something.
Right, yeah.
And he's got like no reference points because it's all black.
Yeah, because it's the middle of the night. Then they take like a nosedive into like a hole.
Right, and there's...
he wasn't able to, yeah.
Yeah, I like this part where there's some kind of irritating light coming through the hole.
Yeah, right.
And it tells us Arthur's incorrect guess.
Oh, yeah, it was ultraviolet.
Yeah, it's like Arthur guessed quite wrongly that it might be ultraviolet. It's like, that's another one of those moments where it's like, it's not really telling us anything, but it's somehow like...
yeah.
Describes it.
Yeah.
It's like descriptive without being descriptive.
Yeah. And Sly Bartfast then turns to Arthur and then goes, Earthman, we're now deep in the heart of Magrathea. And then Arthur's like, what? How do you know that? And it's like, don't worry about it. Those, we'll talk about this later, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's about to, and then, yeah, he's like, oh, and by the way, we're about to go into hyperspace.
Yeah.
And it scares the willies out of him, apparently.
Mm-hmm. That was a good line. But they then end up in this room that is
that's
almost infinity.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because it's like, it wasn't infinity. It's like, in fact, infinity itself looks quite flat and uninteresting. But yeah, like looking into the distance is incomprehensible and therefore meaningless. But the room they were in was like just very, very big.
Yeah.
So it gave the impression of infinity, which was way better than infinity itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which kind of makes sense when you think about it. Like,
right.
When you stand outside and you look up at the sky, it's just like, oh, that goes on forever. So it's whatever, you know? Right.
But then if you're in like a one of those massive aircraft hangars or something.
Yeah, like a huge hangar or warehouse or something, you're just like, whoa, this place is big. So it's like, imagine that, but where it can house like planets.
Yeah.
Which, they then reveal that they are making or remaking Earth.
Yes, because of an experiment that ended 5 minutes too soon. Or did it say experiment? Or just something happened 5 minutes too soon.
Yeah, they're...
Oh, and Solly Bartfast talks about how he liked making Norway.
Right, he won an award for the coastlines.
Yeah.
Very proud of it.
Lovely crinkly edges.
But yeah, apparently Earth was like commissioned by some...
The mice.
The mice that are these pan-dimensional beings.
The mice were furious. The mice were... I do quite like that because it's the exact same sentence but with slightly different punctuation. And then for me, the mice is italicized.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes you read some of those like small things that change the meaning of the sentence.
Yeah, Arthur's finding it hard to believe that the mice were running experiments on humans or whatever.
Yeah, but then he was like, so I expect the dogs and cats and duck-billed plats, but it was like, oh, no, the mice are like, they're not like dogs, cats, and duck-billed, like, they're interdimensional beings.
So, turns out humans are just components of an organic computer, and that Arthur is having a hard time coming to terms with that.
As I can imagine. Oh, I guess I quite like how the chapter ends, and Sly Bartfast about to explain to him why the computer is needed, and he's like, it'll take a little time, and it said time, said Arthur weakly, is not currently one of my problems. Chapter 25. Last time we led off, Arthur just realized that his entire planet is a supercomputer run by mice, and where we join our heroes is
Slarty Bartfast was beginning to tell him a story. So
I guess the city talks about the story starts. I guess this chapter, it's kind of like paraphrasing, or it's paraphrasing what Slarty Bartfast said.
He talks about how this race built a computer, and it was supposed to be the greatest computer of all time, but
whenever they talk to it, Deep Thought, it would always say, I am the second greatest computer, and they're like, hang on, what's happening? And I think you can assume which one is the greatest, but we just gotta keep on. These two programmers, people that, like the lead people who programmed this computer, talk to it a bit. They try to ask it, they're trying to get out of what it thinks the best computer is. And they're asking for all these, like, really fancy, just pretty much, like, I don't know what, like, really fancy things that, like, just really big calculators that they don't do.
Like the supercomputers of all the other, like, races and galaxies and stuff. And it's like...
And it can, it can calculate the trajectory of every single dust particle throughout a 5-week Dangrabad beta sand blizzard. But then he's like, nah...
Actually, my favorite one, I think, was... It's like, surely you're a better analyzer than... the Googleplex something, and in my head I'm just like, obviously Google wasn't a company at the time this was written, but like I was thinking like, did Google name themselves after this line in this Hitchhiker's Guide book? It's like specifically talking about like data analysis, I think, which is like a pretty big thing they do with like analytics and stuff. I don't know. That one just made me think.
Yeah, well, that was the one that I said, calculates like how far, like tracks every single piece of sand in a sandstorm. And then the Deep Thought's just like, yeah, but I've comprehended the Big Bang itself like fully, and it's like that thing's like a pocket calculator to me. And they were like, yikes.
Deep Thought's like, I can calculate all the atoms in the creation of the universe, like basically the same as like a sand in sandstorm.
Yeah. And then there's the Great Hyperlobic Omnicognate Neutron Wrangler. Oh, rolling the R's. No, I'm not going to attempt that. I do like how in the bits where they talk about aliens and stuff, they have inside jokes, but like that only relate to aliens. So it says, could talk all the 4 legs off an Arcturan mega donkey, which means nothing to us, but it's probably like a perfect, it's like a really fancy space idiom. So that's quite interesting, seeing how they've developed fancy language.
The only thing we really need to understand about it is that it has 4 legs. And it was saying like, he can talk all 4 legs off it, but I would be the one to talk it into going for a walk afterwards. Like,
yeah. So yeah, that goes on for a while where they keep like asking it. Eventually they ask it, what is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? Oh yeah, and then like these two like alien philosophers like kind of like break in,
right?
Because they were like, we
Yeah,
don't.
it gets to work on like finding the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything, and then these two philosopher guys break in.
And they're like, hey, no, we'll be jobless.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So then it's like, fine. Well, then the deep thought's kind of like, well, the thing is that to rewire my circuits to comprehend this, it'll take about like 7.5 million years. And they're like, oh heck. But then the philosophers like, okay, the philosophers are like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine, works for me. It won't happen in my lifetime, and they kind of stroll out.
Yeah, exactly. Really mad about you taking my job. It's like, oh, 7.5 million years. Guess I'm not too worried about it.
The comparison you gave to Google is quite interesting because their AI project is DeepMind, and their computer here is called Deep Thought.
Mm-hmm. And they also, I know
parallel.
I know they have some Hitchhiker's Guide sort of Google Easter eggs when you like type in what's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And so
yeah,
obviously,
if you type barrel roll and Zorgrosh and so on, there's another few.
Yeah,
Google Easter eggs are always good, but yeah.
Obviously, they're aware. It's just, no, I'm curious about if there's any story about where they specifically got their name from.
Yeah, in the first place, it was just a misspelling of Google, of like a Google, and then they kind of just like stuck with it. And yeah.
Anyways, see ya in the next chapter.
See ya. Chapter 26. So Arthur is like, cool story, bro, but what does this got to do with like anything you just told me about mice running the earth?
Right. Yeah, so it's like the last chapter was the story that he was telling him, then it's like we're back with Arthur, and
yeah, and then Slightly Fast was like, oh, that's listen here, that's only the first few things, that's the first half of this long story.
Mm-hmm. So he wants him to like follow him to what presumably is like a VR thing,
Sensotape records.
Yeah,
pretty much,
so he can experience the second half of the story. After 7.5 million years. Yeah,
so then they talk about how they were going to the tertiary and quaternary periods of the Caesarea era.
Right, yeah, it's a little unclear here, because they're obviously trying to recreate the Earth from...
Yeah, but Arthur's like, that's not my Earth.
Yeah, but they're trying to recreate it as it was just before it got destroyed.
Right.
So they have to have all this, like, fake, like, old stuff buried in it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's unclear, were there ever dinosaurs? Or were the bones always just fake things that they put in there?
Yeah. Or is it or just because of that they've had to put them back or something. Yeah.
Although, I mean, obviously, like, if all life on Earth is part of the big organic computer, then it's like, well, Slarty Bartfast essentially is like a god to Arthur, I guess? Like, did they make the humans?
I reckon so. I think that's kind of weird. But yeah, then cool. Oh yeah, so Solly Bartfast's like, hey, do you want to walk around Earth? And Arthur's like, nah, it's not going to be the same as it was. And he's like, yeah, fair enough. They got on the air car and head to the crazy tunnel of not fun times. Mm-hmm. And then we're pick it up in the next chapter, where we're here the second half of the story. This was just like a short in between. Like, if this was one of those movies where like someone's telling a story and it does like the flashback, and then it cuts to like them reading the story. Me of Princess Bride, when it will cut to the grandson and the grandpa talking about what's happening. Yeah, like Princess Bride. That's a good example. Or like Neverending Story would do that a lot too. Oh yeah, they did that where he would cut back and forth between the library. That was chapter 26. See ya. Chapter 27. We kind of, I guess, learn that Slotty Bartfast is very messy, as his study is described as the result of an explosion in a public library. Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. He mentions that the cleaning staff are dead. Oh, yeah. Because something to do with, like, their stasis, like, hibernation pods or whatever. Exploded, yeah. And they'd been dead for about 30,000 years. Before they found the bodies. Says, like, who's going to clean away the bodies is what I want to know. Because the cleaning staff's all dead. And he's like, why don't you just go sit down? And he gestured Arthur to sit on a chair that looks like it, that that looked as if it had been made out of the ribcage of a stegosaurus. And then Sly Bartfast goes on to say it was made out of the ribcage of a stegosaurus.
Yeah, I love the way that part was written. It was just like the description and then the dialogue, like immediately saying the same things. Just like
And then they're doing like he hooks them up to this like VR machine with these wires.
Yeah, it's like fully immersive. Like he's almost like a ghost in the
like a ghost of like Christmas Carol type.
Like an observer.
So there were like big white concrete buildings around, but like they were like spacious and airy, but worse for wear. But yeah, it's describing like this city.
Mm-hmm.
But Arthur felt like he felt lonely, stuck in the sky as a floaty boy, when everyone else is a physical boy.
And then the two descendants now, 7.5 million years later, of the original two people.
Yeah, Manhattan is there, and everyone's like excited, and there's flags and streamers and everything. The streets look like centipedes of like moving people, like running around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big event, obviously, for this society. Waited on this answer for 7.5 million years.
And they're just talking about how, and everyone's like, the announcer person is like, never again will we wake up in the morning and think, who am I? What is my purpose in life? Does it really, cosmically speaking, matter if I don't get up and go to work? And then they're like, we're finally going to find out the problems of life, the universe, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd goes wild. And then Arthur kind of panics as he's like slowly floating towards a window and he's like, oh no. And then he's like, oh. A bit like in a Christmas Carol. I guess especially in the Muppets one where Scrooge would try to interact with someone and his hand would just phase through. It's like, what?
Yeah. It says that the people chosen to talk to it were selected from birth for this purpose and trained.
Yeah.
But they still are like super nervous when Deep Thought actually starts talking.
Yeah. And they kind of get really excited and panicky.
Yeah. And then it's like, I've got the answer, but you're not going to like it.
And it's like, it's fine, we don't care.
Yeah, it's like we have to hear it at this point. Doesn't matter.
The computer goes silent as he's like, or as it's like trying to muster up. And he's like, you're really not going to like it. It's like, we don't care. The answer to the greatest question of life, the universe, and everything is 42.